Hi, everyone. So yes, I'm Nicolas Liochon. I'm leading Linea. I used to lead research at Consensus, and I'm going to discuss Linea. So in Linea is a zkVM, it's a layer 2, that's the usual things. Some background on Linea. It's actually started a long time ago. Basically, we were doing research on Ethereum 2. We thought, oh, actually, the right way to scale Ethereum is to use rollups. It was basically before it was even a part of a roadmap. Then for a while, we tried to make it work. Research, research, research. At a point, we thought, oh, actually, we think we know how to make it work. And we think it can be put in production, and actually it's in production and can actually be used for real with quite a lot of TVL, quite a lot of TPS, and so on. What was the goal of this? I mean, the point of any layer 2 is to be affordable forever in terms of transactions. That's really the contract, but being secure and being decentralized. That's the target. So when it comes to scalability, it's kind of in progress and happening. You can see at the bottom line the capacity of Ethereum mainnet. And you can see in orange the capacity of Linea. The capacity of Linea increases. We're implementing performance improvements all the time. And the target is to have 20% improvement per quarter and to reach, with more than 20% sometimes, 2 gigabytes per second in the next years. That's for scalability. Security, it's a little bit a different story. Scalability, the difficult part of it, it's everything is in the details. It's a global system. If any point is weak, your system is weak. So there's a lot of details to think about. The fact that it's a zkVM, you've got this usual story about validity proofs, that's fine. But there's the fact that it's as well this EVM equivalence, which is it works at the bytecode level, means actually all the tools that are working on Ethereum mainnet will work on Linea. For a builder, it will be Solidity, the compilers, and so on. It works without any changes. For the user, it's all the analysis tools that will be working directly without any modification, without any changes that can actually write something. So it's a key element of a security story. It's far from being the only one. The client diversity, it's an important one as well. It's one of the few that, few things that Linea, a very specific thing of Linea, which supports multiple clients. You can download any Gate, Eragon, Nevermind, Bezu from the official distrib. You deploy it, you change a few configuration parameters, and you can sync Linea. Which means that if you are adopt about the state, about everything, you can validate by yourself. You save a lot of nasty security issues around insider attacks, around third parties injections, this type of stuff. So it's a complicated to do in practice, but a very important point in security. Well, there's as well many things about the future. The EVM is far from ossified, and thanks God, it can still change a lot. It's quite important. But the point is, when something changes, it means that you can introduce new bugs, you can introduce new problems with all the changes. So the work we're doing there is on formal verification. The idea is we can automate it, we can automate the verification of what we're implementing. That's one part, and the specification itself. And the second part that we are a strong believer in is the multi-prover. And the idea is whatever you do, you can still have bugs if you have a single implementation. So what we will have in the future is the multi-prover, which means that an update of a state will actually be proven by multiple, very different ZK EVM. Okay? So all this stuff is already done, in progress, happening, but it's a key element as well of the security of a Linea story. Decentralization. So decentralization, it's an all roadmap. It's basically just complicated. The fact, however, that it's complicated does not mean that it should not be done. Another point in decentralization is there's no perfect solution. You cannot say that it's solved already, so it's not even binary. It's something that can be good enough, but as well, there are different trade-offs, and there's no perfect solution. So it can do some trade-off. Maybe it will be better for some points, not as good as some others. or you can do different trade-offs, but there's no solution that is obviously better than the others. However, this is not an excuse for doing nothing. It's quite important to really work on decentralization, because if you don't build a decentralized system, what you have is a system with a single point of failure. So it's not reliable. It's not something where you should put your money on. As simple as this. So where are we? So what we have is basically a nice tech and a full ecosystem. Basically, everything that is available on Ethereum mainnet is available on Linea. That's right, but we didn't build this to have exactly the same thing on mainnet. What we want more. And the reality as well, globally, is we would like to have everybody living on-chain, and it's still a little bit complicated. It's still a dangerous place to be, a still thing where you don't really understand what's going on. It's still something where it's difficult to build, and thanks, you've got communities basically that will be here to make you stay, because for the other reasons you will want to escape as soon as possible. So we need to do a little bit better there. And to do a little bit better, you actually need to focus. On the next slide, if I can. Oh, yeah. You need to focus. And in order to focus, you can't go in all directions. And there's this history of mainnet, blockchain, where the biggest use case is DeFi, but it's a complicated use case, actually. I mean, in order to do DeFi, you need to be reasonably into finance. It can be actually dangerous by itself. And it's something that, by definition, will be something very niche. So if you want to still be very useful, to add a clear value, the payment is actually the obvious use case for blockchain when you have the capacity of a layer 2 like Linea. So the point, however, on payment, it's incredibly big. I mean, what does it mean? Actually, many people on blockchain don't even really know what it means. It's just a keyword that seems easy to use. And we know that it's big, but we can actually tackle it step by step. And the main point is, okay, actually just the simple payments are already a very useful thing. You've got your money on-chain, and you can use it directly with a debit card everywhere in the world. This is already available in Europe and UK. It will be available in US and some countries in LATAM later this month, and in other countries in LATAM and Asia, plus Middle East in the next quarter. So with this, what you have is this capacity to put your money on-chain and use it anywhere in the world that is not yet on-chain. Depending on the country, it can be very useful or not. Like in Europe, you can use your standard debit card already, in the US as well. But we can have a lot of reward programs that only the crypto world will be able to offer, which is already something better. And of course, in many countries with high inflation, the capacity to put your money on-chain, put it into a stable coin of your choice is obviously a big advantage. It's not the only thing. The point is, when you have this money on-chain, you can as well leverage lending protocols, DeFi protocols, more and more fancy, but you can go step by step instead of going to the crazy stuff. You can go with the very simple stuff and then go deeper. And this is something that Linea allows. You've got this payment system, and then you've got a set of applications, some new ones, some existing names in the world, the mainnet world, if you want the good OG blue chips, that you can use. The point is, from this, you can actually, as a user, expose the fact that you're a real user, as it's something that you've done some KYC for the debit card. So you can expose, if you want to, with attestation what you have done. And dApps can contact you if they are interested to propose you incentivization, or if they think that what they're doing is useful. So you're creating a mechanism where dApps can actually leverage your past behavior, that if you want to expose it, and they will be able this way to propose the offers that you're interested in and to build what you're interested in. So it creates a very, very dynamic flywheel where users are using the debit card, they have dApps that are providing value, and if they are using their dApps, there will be other dApps providing values as well. So we're creating a very, very dynamic environment. So that's something. It's important to know that it's going to take time. I think the payment use case is not something that's going to be tackled in a few months. It's really you're speaking about multiple years. So this is a simple one. There will be others, wholesales and so on. So we're really looking at everything. The on-ramp is as well something that Linea will sort out. So there's all this work happening. That's one part. The second part is communities. And I guess that many of you, when you see community, you know what I'm speaking about. And the point is, when you're in a blockchain system, you've got a lot of people using it for very different things and a lot of very theoretical debates around is it good or not. I mean, you should speak with some OGs, they will tell you that DeFi is bad already. So when they see meme coins, obviously they go crazy. Our view on this is reasonably simple. First, it's permissionless. So we should not create permissions on how to use it or not. And as well, the fact that you actually have communities adds a lot of value. I was saying, okay, you need to be supported given the difficulty at the beginning. But as well, I mean, the fact in this world that people want to have fun while building new things is actually good as well. So we're quite happy to support meme coins, NFTs, and games. We've done it and we continue to do it. We just want people to be rugged. It's an important detail. And as it's an interesting world as well from an ethical point of view, I don't own any of this. And Linea team is not allowed to accept any allocation or whatever. So this is just free chill. What's next? Well, what's next is decentralization. Decentralization is actually a multi-way topic. There's the technical decentralization, the sequencer, the prover. You need a protocol where you have multiple entities creating blocks, validating blocks, proving blocks all over the place. That's a key dimension. Again, as I said previously, it's very difficult, but it's important and will be done. The second part that very few are speaking about is the importance of the source code itself. Many layer 2, actually all layer 2s are maintained by a single team, and it's very bad. We used to have this as well. We still have this in the layer 1 clients. If you're an OG, you can remember the Parity story. Parity was the biggest client maintained by a single team. The single team decided to move to something else. Another company tried to maintain it. Who knows this? And after a while, they say, okay, just too complicated. We've got too much history. The team has left. We can't do anything with this. And the Parity client was abandoned and disappeared. With something as complex, as big as a layer 2, it's a huge risk. So for us, there's a very important dimension, which is having many companies contributing as companies to Linea. So Status with a big OG as well. They participated in Ethereum 2 research. They implemented a consensus client that secures 10% of proof of mainnet stake. They revealed recently an execution client is an official contributor to Linea. They do have some contributions already, and they will have many more in the future. And the last part is governance. And the governance is about this type of stuff, which is, if you don't want to control it, you need it to be controlled by actually, oh, I can go to the next slide. Token holders, okay? So what's the logic of this? You've got a Swiss association. Why Swiss association? Because, oh, we do like Ethereum, it's good. As well, you don't want to play some fancy, edgy legal cases. It's reasonably stable. Switzerland, you can't find anything more stable than this. So that's good. And as well, there's a lot of extra protections from a legal point of view for token holders. They can be anonymous. The board will take care of many things. So that's actually reasonably good. And I said token holders, which means a token. So here there's a kind of good news and bad news if you're in tokens. The good news is that there will be a token. Maybe it's a bad news as well for some of you. And the other part of the news that it will be in Q1, that's what we're working for. Okay, that's the plan. It gives us another nice thing, which is actually something that nobody has done so far, which is we're going to share most information about the token before it happens for feedback. The idea behind this is usually the token is done in very secret doors. So everybody says, yeah, it's about being public, being everything. But actually, everything happens behind closed doors. We're going to share all of this in the next weeks for feedback, the way we want to see governance, which is pretty advanced, the way we see how we want to do the utility part of the token, which is advanced as well, but maybe we'll be getting some feedback and better ideas. I do expect that people will have better ideas. And given the complexity of a token, I do expect that people will have actually a lot of feedback, very positive. Without the governance bits, we can't really have votes, so people won't be able to vote on the token. We'll be taking the decision, so it will be a little bit in the middle thing. But there's really this target of sharing, building it open from the very beginning, and still, instead of doing it at the end. And there's a kind of trailer now. I don't know if it's going to work, actually. It won't work? Okay, so I will let you show the trailer. I'm not very good at teasing. So that's 1 minute movie about the past of Linea.
Ethereum could be the technology that would enable the world to re-architect itself.
If you want to build a ZKVM, you need to do something that is called arithmetization. To do a good arithmetization, it's basically mathematics.
I went from despair, where I thought the project would die, to actually building exactly what we wanted.
It was when we got to $1 billion in TVL that things started to get very exciting, very serious.
Scaling Ethereum matters because Ethereum, from my point of view, is a common good.
We're not building something for some happy fews, for some specialists. It's really built for everyone. Coming soon in YouTube, actually. We have. Oh. Let me try from here. Yeah, it works better. Do we have time for questions? Yes. So I can take questions. So if the question is when token, I have the answer. Yes, please.
Do you have plans to introduce a prover marketplace? So, loaded question.
Yeah, very technical question. So we did publish actually the way we want to do the decentralization, the technical decentralization already. The way we do it right now is with 2 levels. So you have the sequencer, and the sequencer is responsible to provide the proof about what it's doing, which means that you can have a prover market behind the scene. So it does not have to be a part of a core protocol. It can be a part of any protocol. It's up to the sequencer to find the prover at the condition it wants.